I will talk to you, especially the millenniums. I'm happy that the millenniums want to especially know how life was back those days. Today, if you want to send money, I'll give you just a small example. You want to send money to your parents at home. You get hold of your phone, go to M-Pesa, and in 5 seconds, your parents at home have got money. But what happened to us during those days? I'll give a few examples, but I'm sure none of the millenniums would admire that. The first example was after I joined the police and was posted to West Pokot. Actually, I remember upon arrival in West Pokot, I met, when you are transferred to a place, the first thing you do is you go to the report office and book yourself in the OB. So, upon arrival, we rewrote our names. We were 7 of us, and one of the people, one of the report officers, there are usually 2. One of them asked me if I were related to LANDO KHWATENGE. I told him that is my father. And then he asked me whether I knew of my uncle called Amos Wanami. I said I do not know of such an uncle. Then we went, and when you are new, there is always this fear of monolization. So we were seated somewhere, and somebody came and asked, do we have somebody from home? Initially, we didn't want to answer him, but he repeatedly asked that question. Then it is me who said that if you come from Ingo, then you have somebody from home. Then he said that he told me where he came from, and that is a second trading center from my home. As we knew each other, I later learned that he had been told by the fellow in the report office about me, and he was looking for me because my father had employed him as a police officer. So we became friends, we became close, and in the first 2 months, he used to talk of how he has developed home. He said he had an elder brother who was also a police officer, but if you see the development I've done at home, he would talk of his home area on a lot of things that he had done. I've bought my father 20 cows. I have bought my mother 60 goats. I had this. I have done this. I have educated my brothers. I've done this. I admired him. But I looked at his chest and saw his first number. Comparing to my first number, he had hardly worked for 5 years. So I asked him how he managed to develop himself in that short period. And he told me that there was only one medicine to eat, and the medicine was don't buy alcohol and don't take alcohol. So I temporarily stopped taking alcohol because of what he had told me. Then he told me that we used to have a hardship allowance of 30% of your salary. So he said without alcohol, without anything, he could survive on the 30%, and the whole salary he used to use it to develop home. So I decided there and then to use my 30% for usage. And since I was posted to Nauyapong from Kapenguria is the same distance as from Nairobi to Nakuru. If you know the map of West Pokot, you'll find that it is like an arrow, and you'll find that at the topmost tip and the topmost and the bottommost tips are very far from each other. So from Nauyapong to Kapenguria, that is the same distance as from Nairobi to Nakuru. So I went to that police post, stopped alcohol, but spent a lot of time reading and concentrating on signaler's work, radio room work. As I was doing so, I made arrangements with him to be sending money to my father. But before going to Nauyapong, I made an effort of visiting my father, and I told him on what I wanted my money to do. I told him, you'll get every month you'll get 800 shillings, of which 650 will do ABCD, and 150 is for your own use the way you would want. So I stayed for some time, thinking that the 600 had added up several times. And when I went to visit my father, I found that my father had not gotten even a single cent. Of course, the money was refunded in bits, and whatever I wanted to do was not done. And that is how I lost that money. I'm also remembering when I was in Mandera, one could send money through other people. Someone is going on leave, you all send him to go on leave, to send money. Now, when he arrives at home, my home area is 3 kilometers from the tarmac. So when somebody from Mandera comes to visit my parents, my father and my stepmother, people, the whole area, they would know. So they would come and tell, there are 3 or 4 types of people who would visit my father. Your parent has already borrowed money from other people. So somebody would come and tell your parents that I've seen the young person who works with your child visiting, so I know you are loaded. Can you kindly refund the money that you borrowed from me? So there are those who are coming to claim the money that they had lent out. There are those ones who are coming to borrow. Money. I've seen you are the visitors. Could you lend me 300? I'll pay you. And then there is, of course, we Kenyans, whenever we have extra money, we have a good meal. So there are those who come for palaver, and when you are beating about the stories, they will use that money. I mean, as you prepare good food, they'll eat that food and go away. Of course, we have even buses which you could send a bus to go and get you. You could send a bus to go and drop the things at your training center, and after a week you find out. But nowadays, you young people are lucky. You send money. You send it to us. We receive the money. And even the person next to me would not know that I've received the money. My phone will just vibrate, and I will quickly organize to go to M-Pesa place and get money. So we used to have a lot of problems sending money to our parents, which you do not have. Thank you.